Hi everyone, my name's Charlie and I've helped over 150 people win their PIP claims and I received PIP myself. Can't sleep, and you know when you've got something on your mind and those weather changes, my pain's up and all that, you know what it's like when you're chronically ill and you're just like, oh, I'm not going to sleep. I'm fretting, I'm worried, and I thought that I'd just do this video so you can see a bit of behind the scenes of what's going on. Here's the big problem. For most of you that are applying for PIP and ADP, the severity of your daily life is not mirrored in your medical records. So when they check the evidence, your life doesn't look that bad. When I work with clients, obviously my job is to figure out where people are, help them become self-aware, unpick what is their norm, because we tend to decline quite slowly and we adapt and we adjust. So it's some people are like, no, I'm not any points there, and I ask questions and I'm like, well, actually, that is points. And then when we get to the evidence, or no, actually, hang on a minute, right. So I understand, because obviously I'm chronically ill myself, and the first 16 years of being chronically ill, all I worried about was money. How am I going to survive when I lose my job? How am I going to pay my bills? I don't want to have to lose my home when I've lost everything else. I lost the opportunity to have a family. I've lost being a humanitarian worker in Africa. I've lost being able to do traditional employment. I've lost so many friends. I'm so grateful for those that are still in my life, because they can go years without seeing me and hardly hearing from me because of energy levels. Chronic illness has taken literally everything from me. It's given me some stuff back. It's given me and you. It's given me, a different career and things like that. But it sucks. When I speak to people, there are so many of you're suffering too much. We live in the UK. We are extremely privileged. Now, when I say that, for those of you that don't know, I used to be a humanitarian worker and I specialised in Africa. We have access to the free NHS. We live in the UK. For those of you that are in so much pain that to move from the bed or sofa is a nightmare, for you to put your top on, you need help with it, or you avoid it because of the pain and the aftermath, you need more help. For those of you that with mental health conditions where going out is such a nightmare, or just being able to do something simple like get off the sofa, have a wash, get dressed. It feels like the equivalent of climbing Everest. You need more help. And again, people's medical records aren't matching their lives. I've had a couple of clients recently where I've had to say, you're not going to be able to win this because according to your medical records for the past couple of years, you've been all right. They gave you a medication 2 years ago on the lowest dose possible and you've not been back since. Well, yeah, it didn't really work. Did you tell them? Well, no, they weren't really doing anything. Have you told them how shit your life is? Have you been as blunt with them as how I communicate in my guides about your life? No. And I find it's something like, it's really high numbers of my clients, like 70% end up going back to the doctors, back to the GPs, increasing meds, changing meds, getting to specialists. You need that to win PIP. And I know that it's so difficult because getting into the doctors is a nightmare. Doing the calls, getting up in time to do the calls, having the energy to get to the doctors. And then you've got to communicate, like, especially There's so many of you with multiple conditions. I'm quite lucky because I have 2 conditions, which is pretty much one. Psoriasis, which became a form of arthritis. Okay, so for me it's quite easy, but for those of you with multiple conditions, it's like it makes it more difficult for you at the doctors because you're talking about too much stuff. And then you're not making enough progress on what is truly impacting your life. Or you're not getting through to diagnosis. You're not getting access to specialists. So my request is, along with not giving up on your PIP, I need you to keep fighting. I need you to keep fighting to improve your quality of life. That has got to be the fight. If you're improving your quality of life, you've got to fight to improve your quality of life, fight to reduce the pain, fight to get treatment. If you have a condition that is treatable, you've got to fight for your treatment because you need your medical records to reflect how severe your current situation is. Without that evidence, there are many of you that are not going to win PIP, even though your daily life, you score the points. But because you're not communicating it and you're not fighting for your own treatment, I get it. I get it from a DWP's point of view. If they can't see evidence of the severity from an independent medical professional, how do they know if you're telling the truth? How do they know? So there's going to be people like me, and another example is like a good example is like COPD. COPD, once you get to a certain stage, that's your treatment. Okay, and they can't do further for you at that point. So for me, I'm on the highest level of treatment. This is my life. I'm not giving up. I am working with a physio because I'm determined to keep somehow improving. But statistically, it's not going to happen for me. This is my life. It's degenerative. Okay. But there are many of you with conditions where if you've got access to the right treatment, your life could improve. You've got to fight for it. You've got to demonstrate that you're doing everything you can. We need to get the appointments registered, the treatment registered, waiting for access to specialists. And do me a favour as well, when you're going to specialists, consultants, and they say, right, we'll see in 6 months. No, please don't just go, they refer you back to GP. And then you've got to speak to the GP, then GP's got to request it, then then you've got to wait for the GP to write to them, then you've got to wait for the secretary to confirm, then you've got to go on the list, and it's like 6 months, which could be 9 months. When you're with the specialist, when you're with the consultant, ask them to book you in. Beg if you need to. If your life is totally controlled by your chronic illness and you are suffering, fucking beg them. Please don't kick me out of the system. Please don't send me back to the GP. It'll be you'll lose another year of your life before you blink. Before you blink, it'll be gone. 6 months, it's gone. Ask for them to book you in 3 months. Ask for it to not be 6 months. That's what I've done. It is possible. It is possible to do. Some of them might not like it, but it is possible. You know, if I've declined, I can get back in. I don't wait 6 months to get back in, but so many of you are, and I think it's just lack of understanding of the system. Does this make sense? I really hope you understand, because I want you to not suffer. I don't want you to suffer. I don't want you to lose years of your life to unnecessary suffering when we've got access to help that we do have to fight for, and be very clear in our communication. And also need you to do that so that you've got your evidence, so that you can prove what your life is like when it comes to PIP and ADP. Okay? This is just like, I spend a lot of time fretting and worrying, and what do we need to do? How can we do it? How can we what do we need to do to make sure that people get it right at claim, that we don't have to do mandatory reconsideration? And these challenges, the stuff that I'm worrying about now, is tribunal level. But some of the people that I'm helping at tribunal level never should have been sent to tribunal level. They have not been treated fairly. And that is just, fuck. Like, we've got a system, we have to work within it, I get that. But trying to reassure people and get them to keep fighting for themselves when it's like a year down the line and they haven't been believed. And then some of these are clients where they've got so much evidence, like so much evidence, that it shouldn't get to tribunal level. So it's a nightmare. I know I started this on, I need you to make sure your medical records match it. But think about it. Those of you where you haven't updated your GP and communicated clearly, and then I've got clients that absolutely have, that have been to see regular specialists, that are still seeing specialists now, but are still having to go to tribunal. And they'll win, but they're having to go through this hell to get what they're entitled to. If you haven't got that evidence, you don't stand a chance. I think I need to shut up because I'm just going round in circles now. I really hope this makes sense because it's so important. It's so important. And then if you can all do this, then maybe I'll get more sleep because I won't be fretting so much. We're all fretting, aren't we? PIP and ATP let's face it, it's not a fucking relaxing process, is it? It's awful. It's stressful, degrading, and it wears us down. And I really, really need to get some sleep tonight because client tomorrow, new client, we're doing a claim form. So I'm so happy that they've booked me at the beginning. If you're still watching this, the link's in the description if you want to access me. But there's the free newsletter and the website where you can get free templates. I always forget to mention that. Right, I'm going to shut up. I hope you get some sleep. I hope you're not having an awake night. Night pain's not too bad. I kind of don't want to log off because I feel like less alone. I know that most of us will never meet, but it's so comforting knowing you're there, that we are a community and you get it. We get it. We get what it's like being chronically ill. It sucks. We're not alone. And this past year is the first time I've not felt alone, which is amazing. So thanks. I'm going to shut up. Okay. Oh, no, no.